clicking on this video was one of the smartest decisions that you ever made. Following this channel of energy is an even better decision to make. Welcome to the new channel. We're going to be using this channel from here moving forward, evolving collectively. And if anybody knows who I am already, then you know what it is that I bring to the table. If you don't know, get ready to find out. This first video that I'm going to introduce myself to you in is going to be me talking about a brief history of my past, coming from a cult group. And then I also want to go into talking about occult knowledge and esoteric knowledge and information. We're going to be healing relationships together. We're going to be diving deep into our own purpose. We're going to be unraveling secrets of the universe together. We're going to be breaking all kind of generational curses. We're going to learn how to build generational wealth. I promote sovereignty in all dimensions. So without wasting too much time, let's go ahead and get into this first video.
Trying to win a race, so I can't compete with you. I'm living my own way, walking light and speaking truth. Tomorrow is today, and you will always be with you. The viral done, I say, my love is here to stay. They trying to win a race.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Soular Moray. You on my channel, The Magic Muse. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So check this out. On this channel, we're gonna be talking about some key points here. Majority of the time, we're gonna be talking about purpose. We're going to be talking about spirituality. And if you don't know about spirituality, I want to be able to offer an introduction into spirituality the right way, the safe way, okay, the unbiased way, the undogmatic way, the non-religious way. Can we get into spirituality? And I'll say this as well, actually, fun fact. I don't care if you come from a specific religion. Why? Because I know that I can teach the same thing in any religion, because all of these books, spiritual texts, all these ancient civilizations, relics and symbols, and all of these different things, they are all sourced in the same one thing, which is just energy. And energy can be gauged by value. Values is not something that we invented. It's something that is relative, and it's something that we can observe, all right, and from a certain perspective. I know this sounds crazy to you, but just understand this. This entire reality, this entire universe operates off of energy. And energy can take the form of anything. And the easiest way to gauge anything is by looking at what makes it up, what it's doing, what frequency is it on, how is it operating. This is how you can tell what kind of energy you got, all right? I don't care what language it's in. I don't care what form it's in, if it's hand signs, if it's sound waves, if it's light. I don't care what it is, all right? Energy in all of these different forms, it's all communication. And it's all the universe communicating with itself. If you can speak energy, all right, you can speak any language that the universe has to offer. You can communicate, all right? You are the source. You don't need a language. It's just a point of reference. So I'm saying this because a lot of us don't really understand who we are and what this is. And then you go and do stuff like what I did. And you get up and go and join a cult, right? Without knowing it. So let's get into it, y'all. My name is Courtney Pete Townsend II. Yes, I'm a junior. And growing up with that name as a male, has definitely been a journey in itself. It's been very fun though, and it's made me very strong. I've had many jobs. I've worked at dispensaries. I've worked at all kind of restaurants. I've worked at bars. I've worked in construction. I've traveled the country and got paid for it. You know, I've done all kind of things on and off paper. A lot of my resume is crazy though. My background isn't really correlating to my work though. My real background connects to everything I did when I didn't have work, which is what? Me making music. I'm an artist, I'm a producer, I'm an engineer. I write and record all my own music, and definitely going into music, you learn a ton of things about energy, frequency, vibration. Okay, you learn a lot about energy, frequency, and vibration when you're making music and playing with music. Okay, so this is definitely a science channel, this is a spirituality channel, and this is a psychology channel. I'm going to be opening this up by talking about my life and talking about what I went through. And it's not just about me, hey, get to know me, get to know Soular Moray. It's not that, that's great. But what this really is showing you the journey and the path of someone who was completely derailed from their purpose and had to find it. And I want to let you guys know pretty much like what I went through and what I learned. So without further ado, I want y'all to know that I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. I ended up exploring all other kinds of religions. And I just always had this one question, which is like, okay, if we're all humans and there's all these different religions based off of these spiritual texts and backgrounds and histories and cultures, why don't we have this giant convention as humans? And this is me as a little kid thinking this. As humans, have this giant convention where we come together, bring all of our books, all of our teachings, and we figure out what's true and what's not true. I didn't know that that's not what religion's about. Religion is about politics. It's about control. It's about creating a way of life and a culture and a society. It has nothing to do with spirituality. Spirituality has to do with life. All of life, spirituality has to do with. It's everywhere, all the time. What can you see it is the question. Can you read the code in the moment? Are you tapped into the energy in the moment to really get the message the universe is trying to communicate to you? That's the big thing. But religion is almost like a government. It's really just structures and rules. And I just never understood that as a child because I thought it was about the truth. I thought people were good people. I thought we were here to evolve and to do better and to help each other and love each other. This is how I was raised. This is all I knew. This is all I thought. When I was able to be on my own, I'm asking people in the church about this stuff. You're the devil. You're a demon. Yeah. Ye of little faith. I just want to know what electricity is. How does electricity work? That's the devil's work. Meanwhile, everything's turned on and people on their phones. And I'm like, all right. So anyway, religion didn't make sense. Family was always separated. I never really had family. I had my sister, I had my mother, I had my cousins, but it was always a reach to ever go and be around them. You know what I mean? So the next thing I want to talk about, so we can just stay on point, right, is why did I join the cult? I joined the cult because I was deep into occult knowledge, deep into spirituality for many years, and melanin, quantum physics, all the sciences, electromagnetism, Nikola Tesla, all these different things. I was really into them. The pyramids, what are the pyramids? How do they work? What is the Ankh? How does this work? All these hieroglyphs and symbols, what are they? I figured all this stuff out very young, from 2012 moving forward, and I just continue to always just be really deep, and I was always the weird one amongst my friends because I choose to be deep. Okay? And I looked at them, when I seen him online, when I seen this cult leader online, right? It's not that, in the video, what he was talking about was stuff that I like to talk about. And I'm like, yo, that's great, we can relate, we can connect. But what was different was this guy was shirtless in the jungle, yelling and screaming the knowledge at the top of his lungs. Even though nobody could hear him, he was on the phone. And I didn't see many people on the phone doing this at all. So I'm like, this is another way to live. I don't have to know I'm in a matrix, know I'm in a messed up system that's built against me, and just be in it and know it and have to work in it. I was depressed, deep into depression after all the jobs, all the money, all the bills, all the sickness in my family, all the diseases here and there, the crime, getting shot at, always getting shot. Like, come on. Oceanside, California. It was where I was at before I left one of the first times. So I didn't know that I could go and live a life connected to nature rather than connected to a matrix system. Okay, and that right there was a big thing for me. When I first did the research on the cost of living in other countries, my mind was blown. I'm like, no one's talking about this. Nobody told me it was cheaper to live in these places. Nobody told me that all the food is better there. All the weather is better there. Everything is better there. It's safer than America, that's for sure. So I'm like, figuring these things out. I'm like, what am I doing? My whole life has been a lie. I see this group of people over there. I'm like, I never had brothers. I never had sisters. They all are like angels. These are all people who know the things that I know, but they're all living over there in a beautiful life. And maybe just by living a different life, that could be a big enough statement to the world to change the world, right? This is what I thought anyway. And so moving forward, I ended up being extreme, wanting to burn my birth certificate, social security card, get rid of my IDs, all that stuff. And I pretty much let everything go. I gave everything away, and I ended up living in a nature reserve in San Diego until me and a couple of friends ended up just driving through the border, going to Mexico and just living and just like driving and going, not knowing what to do. We eventually got in touch with the cult, and the leader ended up asking us, pretty much telling us to come. And so, without going into the details, right, I ended up going there. And so my perspective is I'm going to join God's army. I'm going to join the most elite of elite people there are. What makes them elite? They know how this universe works. They know what this reality is. These people are young and they're living in the truth early. I get there. Come to find out, everybody is troubled. Everybody is working on something. Not everybody even knows the knowledge. People are there as students, not masters. I'm thinking I'm going to join a group of masters. I joined a group of students. And I remember one of the first things I did when I got there, I was like, they were having a meeting. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you? You can't think now all of a sudden? Like, what's up with y'all? What's up? Yo, all you guys are giving bad advice. I'm like, dude, what is this? The cult leader said, Soular, nobody knows you yet. You're right. You're absolutely correct. But nobody knows you yet. Nobody respects you yet. Let me handle this. And so I was like, all right, whatever, true enough. I just got here, true enough, whatever. But I never lost that feeling of thinking that I was amongst the best and finding out that everybody here is like tadpoles spiritually. And I'm coming from a high level of intelligence and knowledge. I'm not coming from necessarily not like trying to be a student, trying to learn this stuff. I can't wait to teach it. I can't talk to anybody because nobody cares enough. So anyway, find this group. I want to join. I go there. I think I'm going to change the world by living a life that is more in alignment with what I know rather than in the matrix, which I know is wrong in a number of ways. What ended up happening after I was disillusioned was I started to realize that there was a lot of physical abuse. It was at first, I only noticed it between the cult leader and his wife, and then it started to become any woman that ended up being with this guy. And then it started to becoming the men being very verbally abusive. And this was not how it was from the beginning. The guy was serious, but it wasn't like, in my opinion, toxic. So I was able to go years and years and years until we finally peeped all of the small twists and turns and the corruption that was popping up. Long story short, right? This person started to corrupt the knowledge that we really all need to heal our generational curses, and using them to have us serve him And it started to siphon everybody here, all their energy is being siphoned every single day. All the attention and all of our work, everything is going towards building this person. And you could think in a business level, it makes sense for everyone to invest in one thing. But when the business is purpose, when the business is spirituality, you don't have time to invest in anybody else. You don't have time to focus on other people's journeys and well-being. We are 20 years old, 19 years old, 22, 23. Abandoning all of our dreams and our purpose and goals and aspirations with the promise that this guy is going to make sure that we are our higher selves. We tap into our higher selves spiritually. So I don't care about college. I don't care about a job. I don't care about money. I don't care about my Babylon family, my old family, right? The family I was born into. I don't care about my lineage. I don't care about none of those things because I get to go and spiritually ascend. What a promise. That's not what happened. Everybody ended up being disrespected heavily. And everybody has talents and gifts. Music videos, recording, I make music, I produce, engineer, record the music, right? These guys are organized. As if I organized everything, handled all the money. You know, I got into real estate. I was able to get crazy properties for the group, you know, for very low prices. I was able to get like 20 plus people through all these different borders, going through all these different countries, getting all these different cars, solar batteries, tents, and all these different things that I was doing and putting all of my energy into every single day. And all of it was outside of my purpose. And let's pause real quick for a brief spiritual lesson. Okay, a brief spiritual lesson quickly on purpose. All right, think of your purpose as the bullseye of your life. This is the target zone. This is the highest version of me. This is my highest self. This is the best version of me, the highest vibrational version of me, the best possible version of me possible relative to me, right? This version of you is like a bullseye. Now, if you are even 1 degree off of that bullseye in any direction, are you going to miss? Of course you are. I don't care if you're over here and you haven't even shot yet. If you're 1 degree off, you will miss the bullseye. You will miss your purpose. In the Bible, they call it a narrow path, don't they? Don't they? It's the narrow path. It's the path only for the narrow, for one person, you. That's called your purpose. The wide path, the broad path, is all the other different things that you could do. And what's stopping you from being in your purpose? Well, maybe, just maybe, you're going after things that would make you feel good, but you don't really need. For example, me really wanting brothers. Me really wanting companionship, family and friends. That was used against me. Because I wanted these things, because I felt I lacked these things, I started to pursue something for someone that I wasn't. I can get the friends, I can get the family, I can get the cars, I can get the clothes and the money, all these different things you might think you're missing, you might think you need. You can get all these different things. Why would you chase anything when you are the source of everything? And when you align with yourself, your physical body, the solid, the water, the emotional body, your blood culture, your mind, your nervous system, your hormones, your perception. These are 2 bodies. Your physical body, your mental body, or your emotional body, the water one, right? Or the 3rd body, which is your astral body, the one that's beyond space and time, that thing that you call intuition. That thing that you become when you go to sleep, when you dream, when you visualize, that's the astral realm. And if your physical body, your emotional body, and your astral body are not connected in unison, they're not one, okay? You're not going to ever be in your purpose. Now, whenever these three bodies align, you can't help but be in your purpose. You can't help but be in your purpose. So life becomes this event and this thing where we're trying to figure out, how do we remove these things that are not for me? How can I figure out what's not for me? A lot of us go through these experiences and learn through pain and suffering, and learn through loss. You can get all of those things that you really want and desire. You're eventually going to be left back with you. And you're going to realize that your purpose has to do with creation. And you are here to take that all energy and do what it is that you do. Not what he does or she does or what they do or what they want you to do or what you could do or what would pay you or what would get you this thing or what would get you that thing, to fill all the little voids that you might have from your childhood traumas or relationship traumas, issues with your family. You got to realize at one point that you're never going to have the things that you're supposed to have and keep them so long as you're chasing things that you think you need. So long as you're chasing pleasures and feelings. You're supposed to own the feeling. And remember this, manifestation is more like a mirror rather than a magnet. Okay? We're not pulling and pushing things. That's not what's happening. We're becoming something. We're becoming someone. And this version of me that I'm becoming has everything that I need. But if I'm trying to become or get that thing and get that thing, even though I don't need them, I might become something I don't really need to become. And I might start feeling energies and feeling things I really don't want to feel. But I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Just like everybody who gets up and goes to work every day. Just like everybody who stays in a toxic relationship. Just like everybody who's running from their greatness. One of the best ways to find this greatness in yourself is to spend time with yourself and connecting your physical body to your emotional body, to your astral body. Most people are still on level calcified pineal gland. Most people don't even have access to connecting to their astral body anymore. That's what this is about. That's what this is for. Your favorite celebrities will tell you all about it. And then in the process, they'll tell you how they manifested what they got. And they'll tell you how they envisioned it, they embodied it, they felt it, they became it. But what they became and what they envisioned and what they embodied was the truest thing to them. Was them being able to express themselves purely. Was them being able to do what it is they truly wanted to do. Not what they were influenced to do. These people were already rebels. Your successful people in this world were already rebels. I don't want to do what they're doing. I don't want to do what they're doing. I don't want to do there. I want to do this. No, you don't need astrology to know your purpose. You don't need it. Just like you don't need a map and compass to find Treasure Island. You don't need it, but I highly recommend it. Because it's wild out here, baby. It's wild out here, baby. And without that map and compass, it's too easy to get distracted. Way too easy to get distracted. If you're confident in who you are, that's great. I would like for you to be certain in who you are. For those moments where you do question, you at least know how to find the facts about you. This is why I use astrology. This is why I study source code. This is why I go into source code, because the root of every language, the root of every sign, symbol, and image, and building, and shape that you can come up with is all sourced in energy. And the different values available of energy, those are your codes, 1 through 9. And it actually goes up to 12, and then it repeats. 3 by 4, that's 360 degrees. That's full cipher. 12. So I find it very interesting that I joined this group that's about spirituality, and everything everyone is doing is outside of their individual purposes. I joined a group of people who are not in their purpose. And everything they're doing every day is outside of their purpose. Trying to help this other guy get what he thinks he needs because he's not in his purpose. But he's confident, and he's loud, and he's yelling, and he's using this knowledge. And people serve him, and people respect him. But these people didn't know that he was lying. He was literally abusive in every way you can think of. Corrupted the knowledge and the truth. What's the word? Deceiving. Very deceiving. And then I think the worst thing I think this is a quality a person can have, is the worst quality, is the inability to become introspective and look at yourself. Most toxic trait that exists. The refusal to look at yourself is the most toxic trait I can come up with. Because that's the root of all your problems. You. So how did this affect me? When and why did I leave, right? So the reason why I left and when I left was because about a year and a half of arguing with this cult leader, I was still there for many years, and I was really doing the best I could to help the family, help the group, and I was just always trying to be there for them, filling my void of really wanting to have those family members, really wanting to have people close, people to love, people to serve, a reason to live, and rather than me being the reason to live, right? I was always looking for that, so I stayed there, and I constantly would just sacrifice everything that I had. Little do y'all know, my daughter was, I'm trying to find the right words to say on YouTube. My daughter was plotted against, and when she was born, she was deceased because she was poisoned behind my back by the cult leader multiple times. And there's nothing more important to me to this day than generations, than the children. And I refuse to continue to perpetuate generational curses. I refuse to disown all knowledge and all information because I had a bad experience with people who claimed to have it and use it but didn't. I'm not going to throw away all the truth that's there because it was tainted by a guy I know. I'm good on that one. I'll keep the gold. All I know is that I was able to take as many lessons as I could from this, grow, and just constantly share and evolve. Me applying what I know to be true to my life. For me to even run this channel and have this spiritual channel running about psychology, spirituality, esoteric information, wealth. We're gonna be talking money, baby. Finances, stock markets. We're gonna be talking about everything on here, on this channel. We're gonna go all into generational wealth and how to build generational wealth. We're gonna go all into psychology, all into relationships, all into esoteric knowledge, symbols and whatever. You guys ask me questions and I'll be happy to make something about that. But literally, I do this every day, all day anyway. It's just been off camera. Funny thing about my purpose, right, is it's Leo North Node and it's 10th house Saturn. I'm literally supposed, and it's way more than that, but it sums up to say that I'm literally supposed to be doing me on my own, in a sense, creating and sharing that with the world, the deepest depths of me with the world. So I'm choosing to be in my purpose now. I'm choosing to be in my purpose. I'm not supposed to be a part of collectives. I'm supposed to be owning myself. There's some people out there who their purpose is to join collectives, and they're already like super within themselves, which is why that's the balance they need. There are some people who are too much into themselves where they need to learn how to communicate and how to connect with community, and how they can realize that you can still be yourself, but now you can be yourself, and as you share yourself, people can support you. Now you can be the leader that you are. First, you lead yourself, of course. But you got to be careful as a leader. You got to be careful as an educator, because you have to be applying what you're talking about. You got to be doing what you're saying. So having this channel and running this channel is a massive indicator that your boy is in his purpose. Oh, and it ain't gonna stop here. We could talk about drama. We could talk about more personal things. Yeah, of course. We can get into the story. I really want this channel to be here for everyone, to gain an introductory understanding into spirituality. I want to be able to break down spirituality with y'all in practical ways. We're learning spiritual lessons every single day. Every single day. Whether you can see them and catch them or not is another scenario. Me personally, I would like to just channel and share what I know and how to do what I do, how you can apply this stuff to yourself, how can you master yourself and solidify yourself in your purpose. Well, you're on YouTube now. This is a YouTube university. You can learn anything you want to learn here today, right here on this app, right here on this phone. So you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what it is you may want to hear more about. I'm going to have a link in my bio that connects to my music. It connects to my social media pages. All right, it connects to a place where you can book a reading with me. You can book astrology readings with me. And I like to, personally, I like to use all forms of astrology, human design, gene keys, you name it. I use all forms of astrology because they're looking at the same thing from different perspectives. And I can tell and I know what the differences are, so I can use them cohesively. I use all information that the universe has to offer. The question is, can you see the truth in it or not? Can you decipher the codes? That's the real question. And that's what we do here. We break down the codes. We decipher the codes. All right? So this is a great video, y'all. I really enjoyed doing this. Yeah, we pretty much talked about everything that there's to talk about. I will say this as well. This is another great topic right here, and this is something we'll be talking about a lot. Is the reason why I really recommend everybody gets an astrology reading is so that they can gain their bearings today. So that you can gain your cosmic map and compass, and you can start making sure you're on your narrow path and you're not doing things that you really don't need to do, that are taking you off of that bullseye. So it helps you save your energy, which means it saves your time, which means it maximizes your reality. Okay, get your astrology done so that you can master yourself and be certain about who you are. Not know who you are, not I was with me my whole life. No, be certain. So when even you ask questions, when even you wonder, you have something to refer to about you. And you can be like, I know what it is. And you can beat yourself. You can get past your own blockages so that you can grow and evolve into what you're supposed to be. Okay? Man, this has been awesome. I really enjoyed this one, and I can do this non-stop. I can do this every day non-stop. So we're gonna go ahead and end it here. Like I said, the link's in the bio. You guys want to go ahead and connect to me, go ahead and connect to me in any one of the social media platforms. You can go check out my Tantric page, go check out my music. Don't worry, it's just more and more and more and more and more and more coming from me. All right, I love y'all. The Magic Muse. A muse is somebody who guides you to your purpose. Magic is the unseen forces that are driving everything here.